Think I'm live? I'm live. Peace. Cheers, folks. Happy Tuesday. Mark, aka Flying Health Coach, coming at you. Very much an impromptu video this evening, but I wanted to do it on a topic that, if you're a new flight student, private instrument, or maybe you're a medical student or pre-med or wherever, hairdresser, it doesn't matter. You're a new student going into a new field, and you are exposed to teachers, instructors, mentors, people in your life that are influencing your progress and are influencing your ability to succeed essentially at your craft, right? And the title of the video, as you'll see here if you haven't already, is Stop Grinding Away at Your Acronyms. And it's not specifically towards acronyms, just because in aviation, my world is that there's just so many acronyms, which is even weird because I counted them up before I did this video. And I think I counted like 24 or 25 acronyms between private and instrument that you actually have to learn. Really not that many. Because you don't really learn a whole lot of acronyms in commercial. You learn like 2 or 3 in multi-engine. CFI, you learn a lot of acronyms. I mean, there's so many, it's ridiculous. But point is, private instrument, commercial, multi-engine, it's not a lot of them, but that's neither here nor there. But what I really want to talk about tonight really quick, and I want this video to be short, just to the point and sweet, is more so just stop grinding. Because what does grinding mean? I'm going to read you the definition. Adjective and noun version, right? Which is in the description of the video too. But let's look at the definitions of grinding quick. So grind, there we go. Let me go back one here. So grinding, what does it mean? So as an adjective, oppressive and seemingly without end. Thumbs down. Harsh and grating. Thumbs down. As a noun, the reduction of something to small particles or powder by crushing it. Thumbs down. The action of rubbing things together gratingly. Kind of equivocal, if you ask me. Now, flip-flop to that, synonyms of grinding. Sharpen, right? That's kind of a positive one, like sharpen your skills, right? That's always a good one. That's the only one I found actually was sharpen. The other ones are crush, pulverize, granulate, grate, rasp, gnash, bruh. As a noun, hard work was a synonym, right? Slog, dull task, person who works excessively, drudge, bookworm, wonk. Antonyms, right? Pleasure, joy, easy job. So I guess the point is the terminology of grinding, right? I think that's a bad way to look at. I think it's a bad way to look at your career when it comes to anything, because grinding implies that, look at the Hawkins scale of consciousness, and this is a bad description of it, right? But you have your lower vibrational states down here: shame, guilt, fear, desire, right? Which are not, those are your emotions that you don't want to, it's life. You'll be down here at sometimes in life. It's just part of the human experience. You can't avoid this, right? But the point is, we don't want to stay down here on a daily, consistent basis. Versus then you have willingness and acceptance, kind of like your middle realm that's green and yellow. I made it green because that's all, I didn't have yellow. But then you have your higher vibrational states, your peace, your joy, happiness, love, empathy, right? I didn't write them all down, but you get the gist of it, right? So what's grinding? Why are you grinding? You're grinding because you have a desire to do something, and you have a fear that you're not going to be successful. So you grind, and you grind incessantly. But what does that ultimately lead you to do, right? And I'll tell you my own personal experience. So, which I think is important for you guys to understand. So when it comes to grinding, right? When I first became a CFI double line, got my MEI, I was the aviation coordinator, to where I had a full-time job Monday through Friday. I did flight training in the mornings, and I did flight training on the weekends. The only time I had off was if the weather was bad. It's the only time I had off. Why? Because I thought if I kept grinding over and over again, A, people respect me, I'll get to where I want to be faster, and C, I'll feel accomplished. but none of that happened, right? It's interesting when you think about it. Because no one cares how much you grind or how hard you work. No one gives a shit. It doesn't matter. It's like no one cares how popular you are. That's your own perception and your own identity and self-image of the world, right? No one cares. So put that aside, right? It doesn't matter how much you grind. If you're doing to influence other people care about you, that's irrelevant, right? It's what makes what ugh, words how you feel on the inside is what matters, right? So grinding, as the connotation that's put, it's hard work. Is I'm working hard to achieve a goal, and that's all fine and dandy, but at what point does it become too much? At what point do you start to almost, it's like the law of diminishing returns, right? It's an economical term, law of diminishing returns, to where you keep putting out, right? You have this, you keep this output going, or you keep doing more and more and more, but what are you getting back, right? What's your input, right? Eventually that input declines because you're doing too much. Okay. So grinding in itself is based on a state of desire, fear, right? Lower vibrational states, right? You desire something, i.e., to get your private check ride done, instrument rating, commercial check ride, multi-engine, so on and so forth, or doctorate or master's, whatever, doesn't matter. Pick your poison, right? And you have a fear that if you don't put all this work in, that you're not going to be successful. But yet you're depriving yourself of willingness, acceptance, peace, and joy all along the route. So what are you really giving up? You're giving up yourself by grinding constantly, all the time, never stopping. So point is, this video is not to make you think that hard work, that you shouldn't work hard. You should. You should work hard for what you want in your life. That is 100% what you should do. But you also have to have the ability to recognize, I got to take a breath. Maybe you need to take a day and just step back from what you're doing. You need to take some time off from what you're doing. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a couple hours, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But grinding in itself is not used as a really positive term, because who wants to work hard the rest of their life, right? It's estimated that you're going to work 90,000 hours in your life. 90,000 hours. Can you believe that shit? I can't. 90,000. If you're going to work 90,000 hours in your life, I'd hope to God you enjoy a majority of that stuff, because that's your damn near a damn good majority of your life. So if you're going to spend all that time grinding, you're going to totally negate these other there goes my acceptance. You're going to negate these other higher vibrational states. So what's the antithesis or the antonym of grinding? Joy, pleasure. Okay. So yes, don't not grind in your life. Don't not focus on your acronyms in aviation. But if you're trying to study, let's say 3, 4, 5 hours a day, and by hour 2, you're just stressed out, you're tired, and you don't want to do it anymore, why not just try doing it for a half hour every single day? You're going to get a lot more done, and you're going to enjoy it more because you're not forcing yourself to do more. But you can do it every single day, right? When I was doing my CFI training, certified flight instructor, I found out all the acronyms I had to memorize. And for the first week, I tried to study, plus work a full-time job, right? I tried to study 2-3 hours a day, and I couldn't, because if I did, I found that I stopped working out, I stopped eating healthy, I stopped getting good sleep. So the more I grinded, the more I stopped doing other things that made me happy, right? So yes, I was working hard, but I was also negating my mental and physical health. So I was taking on 2 important pillars in my life. Maybe that's the same thing for you. So if you feel like you're grinding too much right now, and you're seeing like, shit, I'm letting all this other really important stuff go, like your mental health, your physical health, right? Bring that back a little bit, tailor it back a little. You don't have to grind every day of your life. Instead of doing 3 hours a day, just do an hour a day. Do an hour, like a really solid, productive hour a day. So then you have more time to do the other things that are important to you too. So you're living a well-rounded life. So you keep yourself up in these higher vibrational states, right? Again, you can't negate this, right? This is a part of life. You're going to be down here sometimes, right? We don't want to spend your whole time down here, because then that leads to some really dark stuff, and you don't want to go there consistently, right? You don't want to be down here all the time. But that's what grinding leads to, right? Constant work, constant always working hard is going to lead to you're doing it because you have a desire and you have a fear of not being successful. Okay. Bad way to be. I'm telling you right now, it does not work, right? I've been there for years. It does not work. So reconfigure your approach a bit. Hard work is not bad. I will never say don't work hard. You have to work hard, I believe, to get to your dream life, your holy shit life. You have to work hard. You have to put effort in daily to get there. But you also have to recognize when you need to pull back that effort just a bit to recalibrate yourself, reset yourself, and get yourself up to willingness, acceptance, peace, joy, happiness, love, all the high vibrational states, right? So again, grinding is not bad, but flip-flop the terminology sometimes. Maybe think I'm polishing myself today. I'm going to grind today. I'm going to polish tomorrow, right? Have a healthy mix is the point, because I'm telling you from personal experience, I still love aviation, but there's a time in my life where my entire life was aviation, Monday through Sunday. It's all I ever did, all I ever thought about. And yes, I loved it, but over time, I started to hate it. I started to hate what I was doing. I didn't want to flight train anymore. I didn't want to be in it anymore because that's all I ever did. So take it from me that as time goes, you have to recognize when you need to pull back just a little bit, right? Pull back a little bit, give yourself the grace to take a step back, to breathe, to go focus on your physical health, go focus on your mental health for just a day if you need to, then come back to it, right? Because you don't want to lose the passion for something that you love. I'm telling you right now, it sucks. So recognize when you have to pull back just a little bit, get yourself back up in peace and joy, happiness, love, empathy, then go back into grinding. Okay, do that for a bit. And then, like I said, when it comes to acronyms, young pilots, private instrument folks, if you're listening, watching this, all these acronyms, or if you're studying, right, block off a half hour a day. You don't need to go nuts, right? Maybe hour and a half, or do 2 hours, break it up throughout the day, but don't kill yourself trying to study for this stuff. Make it productive. Work smarter, not harder. Hard work does not always equal success. Working smarter does. Okay, so work smarter. Take a break when you need to, come back stronger, get some sleep, drink your water, be active, eat healthy, do all the things you need to do to prime your body to get this stuff down. Okay, kind of preachy. Hope it helps. Hope it's beneficial. So key things from tonight's video is grinding is a form of desire built out of fear, right? Accept the fact and have the willingness to accept the fact that I need to take a break, or I need to scale back my grinding just a little bit to get myself into the higher vibrational states of peace, joy, love, empathy, happiness, right? So you're constantly recalibrating is the point. So try that out. Take a breath, right? Do some breath work. Take your time. Scale back the grinding a bit. You have plenty of time in your life to work hard and grind, but just don't lose yourself in the process. Don't lose those other parts of your life, your physical, your mental health. Don't lose those parts just for the sake of working harder or doing more. You're not going to get a positive net result, right? You're just going to become even keel again. So hope that helps. Look up the Hawkins scale of consciousness. It's going to help you a little bit. Look into shadow work. Look into the stuff that I'll keep talking about. So you're looking at identity shifting. Again, hope it helps tonight. Flying Health Coach coming at you. As always, folks, peace and cheers. We'll talk soon.